What if I told you that the real power of Bruce Lee was never shown on camera, but was built quietly behind closed doors, where only a chosen few were allowed to witness his true teaching methods? During the years between 1967 and 1970, while the world was still waiting to recognize his greatness, Bruce Lee was already shaping minds, building warriors, and training some of Hollywood's most influential personalities in complete silence. There were no crowds, no publicity, and no cameras recording these moments. Yet these private sessions would go on to change martial arts forever. He was not just teaching punches and kicks. He was teaching a way of thinking, a way of living, and a way of becoming unstoppable. These were not ordinary classes that anyone could attend, but highly exclusive sessions, where only the most dedicated individuals were accepted. Bruce Lee created a small and powerful inner circle that was built on discipline, trust, and transformation. Every lesson was intense, every movement had meaning, and every mistake was corrected immediately. Those who trained with him were not treated like students but were transformed into focused and disciplined individuals. The world never truly saw what happened inside those rooms, but the impact of those lessons spread far beyond them. Today, we uncover the silent teaching era that shaped the legend of Bruce Lee, the turning point in his journey. In the late 1960s, Bruce Lee reached a critical turning point in his life, where he realized that acting alone could not fully express his vision and philosophy about martial arts and personal growth. Hollywood had not yet given him the recognition he deserved, but instead of waiting for opportunities, he decided to take control of his own path. He began focusing on teaching individuals who were serious about learning rather than performing for audiences who only wanted entertainment. This shift marked the beginning of a deeper journey where he transformed from a performer into a thinker and mentor. He started refining his techniques and questioning traditional martial arts systems that he believed were too rigid and outdated. His goal was not to follow tradition blindly but to create something more practical and effective. He understood that true mastery required constant evolution and self-awareness. This period allowed him to experiment with ideas that would later become revolutionary. He became more focused on quality over quantity in his teaching approach. This turning point laid the foundation for everything that would define his legacy. Building an exclusive inner circle. Bruce Lee made a deliberate decision to create a small and exclusive inner circle rather than opening large public classes that would limit his ability to teach deeply and effectively. He believed that teaching too many students at once would reduce the quality of knowledge being passed on. Instead, he selected individuals who showed dedication, discipline, and the willingness to push beyond their limits. This inner circle was not about fame or social status but about mindset and commitment. Each student was carefully chosen based on their ability to understand and apply his teachings. Trust was a major factor, as Bruce Lee shared ideas that challenged traditional martial arts beliefs. Training sessions were intense and highly personalized, focusing on individual growth. He built strong connections with his students, treating them as partners in progress rather than followers. This exclusivity created a powerful bond between him and his students. The inner circle became the core group that would carry his philosophy forward into the world, training Hollywood's hidden warriors. During this time, Bruce Lee began training some of Hollywood's most influential figures in private sessions that were far more intense and meaningful than anything they had experienced before. Among his students was Steve McQueen, who respected Bruce Lee's discipline and commitment to perfection. Another key figure was James Coburn, who became one of his closest friends and deeply admired his philosophy. These individuals were not looking for fame, but for transformation that would impact their lives beyond the screen. Bruce Lee treated them like warriors rather than celebrities, pushing them to their physical and mental limits. His training sessions focused on real combat situations rather than rehearsed techniques. He emphasized speed, timing, and efficiency in every movement. His students often found the training challenging but incredibly rewarding. These sessions changed the way they approached their careers and personal lives. Through these private lessons, Bruce Lee quietly influenced Hollywood without seeking attention. Philosophy that changed everything. Bruce Lee believed that martial arts was not just about fighting but about expressing one's true self in the most honest and effective way possible. He rejected rigid systems that forced individuals to follow fixed patterns without understanding their purpose. His famous idea of being like water emphasized adaptability and the ability to flow naturally in any situation. He encouraged his students to question everything rather than blindly following tradition. His teaching focused on simplicity and removing unnecessary movements. He believed that the most effective solution was often the most direct one. His philosophy extended beyond martial arts and became a guide for life. Students were taught to develop their own style instead of copying others. This approach helped them gain confidence and clarity in their actions. His philosophy became one of the most influential ideas in modern martial arts history. The creation of Jeet Kune Do. Between 1967 and 1970, Bruce Lee developed Jeet Kune Do, which was not just a fighting system, but a completely new way of understanding combat and self-expression. The concept focused on intercepting an opponent's movement rather than reacting late. It emphasized speed, timing, and efficiency in every action. Bruce Lee combined elements from different martial arts such as boxing, fencing, and kung fu. He believed that no single style had all the answers. Jeet Kune Do removed rigid forms and replaced them with fluid and adaptable movements. His inner circle became the first group to practice this revolutionary system. They experienced its effectiveness in real training situations. This system challenged traditional martial arts thinking. It became one of his greatest contributions to the world. The intensity of his training. Training with Bruce Lee was known to be extremely intense and demanding, pushing students beyond what they thought was physically and mentally possible. He required complete focus and discipline from everyone who trained with him. Warm-ups alone were enough to exhaust most individuals. Before the main session even began, speed drills, reflex training, and sparring were conducted with high precision. He constantly corrected mistakes and expected immediate improvement. There was no room for ego or excuses during his sessions. Every movement had a purpose and was practiced repeatedly. Students often left training sessions completely exhausted but stronger. The intensity of these sessions built resilience and confidence. These experiences shaped his students into disciplined individuals. Breaking traditional barriers. Bruce Lee challenged traditional martial arts systems that he believed were too rigid and ineffective in real-world situations. He openly criticized techniques that looked good but lacked practical application. This made him controversial among traditional practitioners. However, he remained firm in his beliefs and continued to push his ideas forward. He encouraged his students to think independently. His approach focused on evolution rather than imitation. He believed that martial arts should grow with the individual. Many people did not understand his vision at the time. Over time, his ideas gained recognition and respect. He changed the way people viewed martial arts forever. Brotherhood and loyalty. Bruce Lee's inner circle was built on trust, respect, and shared experiences that went far beyond training sessions. He created an environment where students felt motivated to push their limits. His students developed strong loyalty toward him and each other. They supported one another through challenges and growth. Bruce Lee inspired them through his dedication and discipline. He treated his students as partners in progress. This created a deep bond that lasted beyond training. Many of his students stayed connected throughout their lives. They carried his teachings into their personal journeys. This brotherhood became a key part of his legacy. Influence beyond the shadows. Although his teachings were private, their impact spread far beyond the training rooms and influenced people across different fields and industries. His students carried his philosophy into Hollywood and other areas. They applied his teachings to their work and personal lives. Bruce Lee's ideas began to spread through personal experiences. People started viewing martial arts differently. It became a path of self-expression rather than just fighting. His influence grew stronger over time. Even those who never trained with him were inspired. His philosophy became widely respected. This quiet influence became one of his greatest achievements. The silent legacy. Before becoming a global icon, Bruce Lee built his legacy quietly through his private teachings and the transformation of his students. Between 1967 and 1970, he created a system and philosophy that would shape the future of martial arts. These years were focused on building something meaningful rather than seeking fame. When recognition finally came, he was already ahead of his time. His students became examples of his teachings. His lessons continued to spread across generations. Bruce Lee proved that true greatness does not need an audience. His silent teachings became legendary over time. His influence continues to inspire millions today. His legacy remains one of the most powerful in history.